Aloha everyone, Laksmi-Ditton here from San Diego, and I'm very, very excited to share with you these amazing thoughts and ideas which I've been actually collecting for the past 2 or 3 months. And I'm completely sure it can definitely inspire you in so many ways. So because I have so many points I want to share with you, I do it kind of non-traditionally this time, so less story and kind of going through the points. So if you get here, please give me thumbs up, and also let me know where you are listening from today. And also let me know if the connection is good and you hear me really well. So it's that time of the year where most people in the world are maybe probably going to do, New Year's resolutions. But with New Year's resolutions, it's a little kind of a problematic situation. So I did some research, and I just kind of read an article from Life Hacks organization, which said 1st of January 2019, they kind of checked that 24 million searches have been done for New Year's resolutions. And now, when I put it in right now, it was 1.4 billion searches. So you can imagine, like, just with 1 year, how much more people have been searching about this topic. So yeah. So here are some of the reasons which they share also in that article, but also which I actually really agree with in my life and in my experience is true, why New Year's resolutions don't work. And oftentimes over a third of the resolutions don't make it past January. So why is that so? So oftentimes, one of the first things is that people actually don't put commitment or don't put any certain plan in action, how to actually achieve those different things or promises. These promises oftentimes also are not connected to their own personal meaning or relevance. Like oftentimes, if I even kind of think of some of the clients, if they say, okay, I want to start to train and I want to lose weight. And then if I ask, why do they want to do those things? And it comes out that actually it's because they have seen in magazines, all these women look very skinny, so they want to be like them, So this is not personal relevance. You have to figure out, okay, I want to be healthier, if I'm not starting to eat healthier or work out healthier, what happens is, I may put my health into a risk, So wanting to be healthier, wanting to have more energy, wanting to feel better, these are connecting to your own personal story and not to those projections coming from the culture or society or other people. And then they will definitely work much better and much faster. And oftentimes also goals and goal setting, the regular old way doesn't work anymore, because when you put the goal, and especially if it's really big and you feel like, okay, this is where I want to be, but this is not where I am. So you kind of really disconnect, and it makes you feel even bad, and then you just kind of, not connected to it. And it may even influence your self-confidence and your self-esteem, and then it doesn't really motivate you. So it should be also maybe focusing more on the process, and the process, what comes, and the excitement what comes from the process, instead of just kind of like, okay, this is what I want. So before we go into how to make your 2020 better, I would like you to look back onto 2019, because it's really important that you do a little kind of evaluation before you jump into the new. And as we know also, Einstein used to say, if you want to change something and you keep doing the same old thing the same way, nothing will change. So even if you put new goals, but you will continue the old habits or old ways of doing things, it will not happen. So that's why it's important. So if you look back and if you put some New Year's resolutions last January, look and see if you managed to kind of handle these. Did you kind of achieve these? And if not, why? Why not didn't you achieve it? And then this will give you a good idea. Like if you put, you know, training there, but you never went to, maybe you bought the gym membership, but you never went to the gym. So what do you need to change? So obviously you need to start to go training, you know, you have to actually go there and move, you know. So so this is one of the things. Another thing is, what promises did you give to yourself and what promises did you give to others? So sometimes also we just on the run, on the go, someone is asking something and we just like very casually say like, okay, yeah, I will do it, or I will give it to you, or whatever. And we don't even write it down. And then after some time, these people reach out to us and then it's like, hey, you promised to do this and you have not done it. So it's not good. So people will also like, okay, I can't, you know, really, this person is not trustworthy, you know, they promise, but they never deliver, you know, or they sometimes don't deliver. So what are those things you promised and not have not delivered yet? So you have like 8 to 9 days left. So you can do that before the New Year's come. If you owe money for someone or someone owes money to you, this is also something you should also maybe follow up and see, you know, what's going on there. So if there is a bigger amount you owe someone, make a payment plan and start to pay that money back. So you actually influence your financial situation so much more if you start to do those things, because otherwise it's also kind of showing to your money that you don't care, and you have to show to your money that you care, you know. So then make a list of all the things you succeeded in this year. What are you proud of? What did you accomplish? And make a list of those things. So, and one really good thing, I will also actually give you some ideas how you can keep up with that in the next year. So one really good thing to also check is what kind of influential people you spent time with this year. If you didn't have like a personal connection or talk with them, so you definitely learn from them. So who were those people, and how much, you know, more of that time would you like to share with them in the next year, and how also. So if you are clear in that, so then also universe can help you to create those situations. And in those people were also probably you had also a group of friends or some people who were really, you know, supporting you no matter what, supporting your crazy ideas and whatever, you know, was going on in your life. So who were those people, and write those names down as well, because they are your support group and you need them next year as well. And now, who were those people who didn't support you, who were like, you know, putting you down, who were giving you negative feedback, who didn't believe in you? Put those names down too. And you have to maybe make a choice or decision about those people, because you don't want those kind of people influencing you going into the new decade, or do you? So it's a good question. So if you are here and what I'm talking to is inspiring, give me a thumbs up so I know you are listening. If you have some questions, let me know as well. So good to know where we are. And then I suggest you to do 2 things. First thing is to write down and also think of the highest moment of the year and then the lowest moment of the year. And these are actually your kind of pointers for the next year. One is what you want more of and what you don't want anymore, and what you need to do not to get to that low point anymore. So for me, if I look back to this year, one of the highest points was actually when me and Michael, we were at the Tantra Fest, and in Estonia, we did like several events there. And for me, it felt like, I was the happiest of the whole year. So I was doing what I love. I was there with my beloved partner. We were doing this together. People were really valuing what we were doing, and things were really flowing really well. So it was really amazing experience. So this year, the coming year, I have to see how can we multiply and do more of that stuff, and find more kind of, channels or outlets for this thing to happen. The lowest moment was when actually we got to Estonia and things were kind of very slow, and it took time to get them going. And that time also Michael had to go back to United States because his dad was in a critical situation and sadly passed away. But Michael was there when that happened, so that was a good thing. But this gave me the time to restructure and kind of change some things. And I knew where I had to really make those changes. And I made those changes, and they really changed a lot and helped me to build up other things. So one of the things I learned from there was also like, my scheduling and, how to work with clients and how to put things together. And I put myself a deadline, and I kept myself going through this, and I went through it, and I actually managed to put together a really beautiful inner family online group for the next 4 months, which also is amazing that I can do what I love and help people, and also that it provides income for those next 4 months, So these are the really good things to think about. So now going to the next year. So imagine this is like a big new white canvas, and you can choose how you start to, what colors you are going to put there, what sort of colors, what color, like what way, what kind of brushes you are going to use, and all of those little different things. And there are very many little things you can kind of, keep in mind while you start to create this new picture of yours. So one of the things is start to make conscious choices. Every choice you do in your life should be conscious, meaning, you are connecting it to different things. And one of the things is actually connecting it also to your ultimate dreams and to your ultimate why. I'll get to that, but before I have this really beautiful little tip how to keep up with your accomplishment this next year. So as you are doing these conscious choices, and you will get more accomplished and done, I would recommend you to take this little glass jar and a little note, and actually write every day, even if it's just a very little thing, if you accomplish something, and put it into that jar. And then this way, you can also do different colors, different months. By the end of the 12th month, you actually have a jar full of different colored notes. And every time you have that low moment, you can pull out as many, notes as you want, and uplift your energy. And by the end of the year, you will feel so good, because you have all these little steps you have done to accomplish and succeed in so many different ways. So it's a really good kind of tool, So also with all of these promises you are making this year, every time someone is kind of asking you something on the run, you don't need to say yes right away. You can say, I'll get back to you about that, like, next day or next week. And then you can have enough time to, check in with yourself, whether this is something you want to do and whether this is connected to your why. So I will put here a link to how to find out the deeper level of your why. I connect you with Dean Graciosi's program here. So when you sign up there, which is free, you can go to the resource pages, and then you can find that 7 level of why there. And that has been a game changer for me, and also for Michael. We have done that several times to realize that, because we are here to give, we are here to serve, and this why helps you to understand why, you know. And this year I have read lots of books. I did another video of the 10 best books I recommend. I can put that link here as well. And one of the books I just read recently had really good questions, which I recommend you to go through and see what are your answers, and actually work with these questions for the rest of your year. And this is Prince Ea, who actually is a big social media influencer. And these questions are following. Why am I on the planet? It's a good question, you know. Even if you don't know the answer, just live in that question for the next year, and your life will start to bring you some of those answers. What can I give to others? Really important. Even if you don't know exactly per se what it is or how, I recommend you to, you know, start to do it more. And also, before you even do something with someone new, always kind of approach them like, you know, where they are, what are their issues, what do they need, and then, you know, offer them what you feel like, you know, they would need from you, and you can give to them. Because when you start with giving, you start the circulation much better, instead of just like, okay, what can they give to me? And that's a really good point. What makes me happy is the next one. So a really good question. So if I think like, okay, what made me happy, like this year, very happy, is that time when we were working with Michael together, you know. So how can I choose more of that? How can I create more of that this year? So next one is a good one, which actually motivates really to get yourself going. If I had 5 years to live, what would I do? Oftentimes people who have terminal, you know, diseases or cancer and stuff, they start to like ask these questions and, you know, make different decisions after those. But what would it take for you to do those decisions already now, without, you know, becoming terminally ill, and start to choose and make those choices already now? What would your life be in 5 years if you would, you know? And then the next one, if I had 1 year to live and knew that whatever I chose to do was guaranteed to succeed, what would you do? And that's a really cool key question. 1 year to live, and anything you would do would be guaranteed to succeed. Because oftentimes also people think, oh yeah, I would like to write the book, but if it doesn't become a bestseller, what's the point, you know? And that's not the way to approach it, you know. So also psychologically, it has been proven, when you expect things to happen, they actually happen. So if you send out that expectancy that things will succeed, you will be much more successful in so many ways, you know. So some other tips. You've all of you have heard about dream or vision boards, you know. And I think we are kind of outgrowing from vision boards, because vision boards oftentimes they are so limited. They, I mean, unless you do it like a big, you know, whole wall for it. So what's happening is that we need to approach our dreams differently. And the technique which I'll share with you right now is from the New Time Energy Inspiration, which I think really works. So what I would suggest everyone to do is to take kind of like a folder and print first page. And here I share how Michael had done it. So a beautiful house entrance. There is a pool, there is a car, there is like healthy food, there is nature, travel adventures, real estate, as he's starting to do real estate more, relationship, and continuous learning. So all of these things are actually on this picture, and also the title, and then some other materials, his promotional materials for his different real estate things. And here, what's the good thing is that you can, put different pages and different topics. So you can start to work with your abundance wheel, which we have talked about a lot. So how is your sexuality, your relationships, your health, your life mission? If you don't know what it is, you have to like try new things and figure out what it is. And then abundance. So you can write it all down, how you see it is, and also then everything is in one place. They're not like all over scattered, and also put pictures, which kind of visually is pretty close to what you kind of see how it could look and so on. So when you do that, you actually start to build it. Like it's not going to happen overnight. And every day you could look at that and then see what's in there, the pictures. You will feed your mind and your brain, and it starts to actually create it. And if you also have the expectancy that this will happen, then this will happen. So this is a really nice new way of working with your dreams. Then I have shared this one earlier too, but this is really working very good for me. This is actually my training calendar for this year. And as you see, like, January, February, it's like all the months I've been training, and I've been putting down what I have done exactly each month, each day. And then now when we are getting to December, I can look back to the whole year, pat on my shoulder and kind of say, good job, Crystal, you worked out really well. You took care of your body the whole year. And I already have this other calendar from last year. So it's like I can archive those two, and it's accomplishment for my inner woman and inner man. And it also feels very good because now I can see that I have monitored, I have actually, I can measure it, It's not just some vague thing out there. Another thing is I have self-care calendar, has to be very inspirational, and you have like, small like boxes here. You can kind of, write in different things you do for you. Like if you go to hairdresser, if you go to a concert, like different things you kind of like to do, and also how you are taking care of you. So this is a really nice thing to also kind of before the new month, you already kind of, put some things down, and then you follow through. And then by the end of the year, you have this beautiful calendar also to look and then also feel accomplished because you have done it, In addition, I also started a little activation for my inner artist, because I feel that my inner artist has been very kind of blocked and put to the side on the back burner, and it's time for her to come out too. I've do documentaries. I used to paint and write much more. I have several book manuscripts waiting to be published. I have loved to write poems as well. I like to do handicraft stuff, even knit and, do different things. So now I have really taken all these things up again. So here I show, I started to do a poem a day since June this year. These are different notebooks. They have to be really inspirational. So this is actually Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, very beautiful. And then this is the next one I have. So these ones are for my poems. And then recently, what has been very, very kind of like a big popular thing is everyone is saying like, wake up 5 o'clock and then, your life will change. And It does, but it's also that, you know, you need to take things step by step. Like, for example, I want to start to paint again, bigger and more. So my first thing is, you know, I got these brushes on sale, you know, and then Michael's mom has made this, which she doesn't need anymore. So I can use these things, and my inner artist like these different feathers, which we got as a gift. So all of these things are already, like, I took the little step to, you know, get to that point that one day I will paint again, like fully, you know. So when we start to do this, like early morning, waking up earlier, then it means also you have to go to bed earlier. So otherwise it wouldn't work if you go to bed like 12 o'clock and wake up 5, so you don't get enough sleep. So these things have to go hand in hand. So with all of these little things, I would recommend also, if you take something, kind of start to do it, you know, put yourself maybe a goal. I would actually recommend 42 days to do something. Scientifically, they say the minimum to change a habit is 21 days. I have noticed that if you do something 6 weeks, it's actually enough time so that it becomes your habit, like your new habit or your new lifestyle. One of the things I've now almost done, like 3 months, is writing my morning pages. Also, the notebook has to be inspirational for me. And this has also been really amazing. It's like my personal therapist. I can write whatever comes to my mind every day, at least 20 minutes. I put this down and I process things. I get some inspiration, some ideas, some insights, and I'm like a completely different person. I'm so much calmer. I'm so much more like, kind of, you know, having more overview. So little steps and then little changes help a lot. So the same with the morning, like when you wake up, don't just, you know, grab your phone as a first thing, you know, social media can wait, you know. So maybe go do your morning walk or write your pages and do something different, feed your mind with something different, inspirational, and then open up and do those things, you know. And then not only, you know, fake it till you make it, but fake it till you become it, you know. So the new trend also, which we have noticed in many places, is actually that they say, like, oh yeah, don't, like, you know, worry about your weaknesses, just like focus on your strengths and, you know, everything will turn. But many times we have to actually work with those weaknesses, because when we do, we actually train the muscle, you know, and become good with those things. So if you go back to my videos from last year, January, then you will notice that they are much better now, because I have practiced all 12 months. I have practiced. So and this is how it happens. So now I have practiced here, and now the next step will be public speaking. So I can use my channels on Facebook or YouTube as a practice laboratory for myself to experiment with different things and see what really works, what doesn't work, and then build together and put together, you know, my signature talk according to that. So really a nice way to do it, you know, put the focus on it. So going back to this 42 days, when you put together like a new goal or new kind of, you know, target, I would say is better probably, then it's really important that you also see the holistic picture of it. I have actually started to study also a nutritional program and sport and exercise nutrition program. And in many other places also, I hear that actually, you know, oftentimes people approach like weight loss also. They think I have to train a lot and then I maybe change a little bit of my menu, but I will get there. But the thing is that actually you should put focus 80% of your menu and then 20% to how you train and what you train and so on. And then you will get the results you want. So usually it's the contrary, you know. So when these things will be changed, then the results will show, and very fast. And what happens then also, what you put into your mouth influences your body chemicals. And if you eat wrong, then you have less energy. Your body is overworking, trying to, you know, process maybe fast food or bad food or whatever. So if you do those things right, then these things will actually start to function for you. Your body starts to work for you. And of course, like myself this year, I actually lost over 30 pounds of weight. So I feel better, I look better, I get more compliments, I have stronger self-confidence, and my self-esteem is higher because I changed my diet, I changed my you know, ways of working out, all of these things. So these things give results, you know. So think of also how you would like your body, mind, spirit be different this year, and what changes you need to do so that those changes become a lifestyle, not just a New Year's resolution, which you forget about in February, you know. So the basis of all that is conscious choices create conscious habits, and then conscious habits create actually a different performance. So all of that is actually also coming from clear boundary settings. So when you start to set very clear boundaries and saying yes and no according to what you feel is true for you, and respectfully sharing it with others, and also expressing what you need and when you need, then actually the surrounding people and surroundings will get a very clear message, and you instantly will actually solve the issue of suffering in your life. Because most of suffering comes that we don't express what we need, when we need, and how we need. And once we start to do those through the setting boundaries very clearly, these things will change very drastically. So I also talked about, you know, to look at in your last year, like who were the people who were supporting you. And this year, I would like you to put more focus on those people. And even if it's only 1 or 2 people, focus on those people, work with them, you know, support their dreams and ask them to support yours. And if there is something you can even go create, you know, create it together as well. So this is really, really amazing change it's creating, you know. And as you are also now getting more powerful and, you know, expressing what you like and what you don't like and how your life works on your terms, saying that doesn't mean you are like a egoistic bitch kind of walking over people. You actually make very clear what works, how, and what you need, you know. So that means also that you stop pleasing other people. You start to actually take care of you, and in that process also giving clear messages to others how they can take care of you, and also how they could take better care of themselves, you know. So that's really important. This year you will probably also get more and more those discomfort moments or uncomfortable moments. So most people, when they have those, they have 3 things happening. They want to go away, kind of escape. They want to fight it, or they are brave enough to jump into and leap into that new, into that unknown, even if they don't know what it brings them to, you know. So this is the thing. So if you want to grow and become bigger and scale bigger, you have to become very comfortable with the uncomfortable. This is the time where you will learn, where you will grow, and where you will also expand. So if you want to be comfortable and, you know, only fight or run away from difficulties, or, uncomfortable situations, then you will never be able to grow bigger and scale bigger. So these are the things you have to kind of keep in mind. So, and one really good tip also this year, stop comparing yourself to others. This is a really amazing thing and changes you into, instantly you become actually the master of you, the master of your future as well, because you know who you are, you know your uniqueness, and you work around that, and that's it. And if there are people who don't like it, that's their problem. Yeah. And it's very important that you acknowledge your acknowledgements and your accomplishments as well. So if needed, as a regular thing, open this jar and take those things out and pat yourself on the shoulder, because it's really, really important that you, reward yourself as well. So very, very important. And one really important thing is also, we are all born. We are all born from the we energy. Your mom and dad came together and they created you, So it was created from the masculine and feminine energy. So everything in life will be created from that. So if you want to become big, it's the same thing, how can I cooperate? How can I create and do these things bigger, and share these things bigger, and what are the opportunities here? Especially many countries, people are still very suspicious and maybe kind of more used to do things alone, but when we are together we can do so much more. So this is very important to put these things kind of into perspective and see where are my we people and who can support me, who I can support, who we kind of co-create the dreams together. And you will get so much further ahead like that than just sitting on your me energy. And also a very simple reminder is the big thing of the creation formula. Everything starts with a thought, word, and action. So how do you think this year? How do you talk this year? And how do you act this year? So all of these three things, if you keep those in mind, you will create a completely different year for sure. And the final thing, if you want to really change this year, stop asking why and ask instead what. When something bad happens, instead of why this happened always to me and so on, ask, okay, what can I learn? What is it here I can get myself to? What is this thing telling me? And then learning from there and looking from a different perspective. So really amazing possibility like that. So this was a little summary of how you can become the master of your future. Basically, also I recommend you all with working with your dream profile is basically also to redefine, all of these topics, your sexuality, your relationships, your health, your life mission, and your abundance. So don't just follow what society has projected on you or what you think is true or right. Just kind of check in with yourself, like, okay, does this like really resonate with me? Is this what I truly from my heart want, or is this something I'm just doing because everyone is doing that? And remember, like, it's totally okay to be different and feel uncomfortable, because with that you will get so much more ahead, and so many more people will actually also be surprised and actually also interested to follow through, like what is it you are doing and why you are doing those things. So this year, which is coming now, we are doing lots of changes with Michael as well. I with my business and also Infinite Activation, we are going to start together a monthly subscription program where each one of you who is interested can join, where we will have different Facebook group and also live, and we take different topics. There will be different bonuses and things, and all of this will figure out in the coming weeks. So if you are already interested in that, let us know, and we can already pre-sign you and give you that information. So I am very, very grateful to all of you for following, being, accompanying me on my road and doing what I'm doing. And I'm so excited to cooperate and co-create with all of you more in the coming year. And if you find this video was really exciting, please share it with at least 10 friends and share it also on your timeline, and become my follower on my channels and give me a like. So your support means a world to me. And if you have some more questions or comments about this topic, write these underneath this video. I will go through them as we go. And I wish you all the very beautiful Christmas time, holiday time with your loved ones. Thank you so much. And till we see again. Mahalo.